Let's talk about the fourth principle of object-oriented programming, polymorphism. Poly means many, morph means form. So polymorphism means many forms. And it's basically the ability of an object to take on many forms. Let me show you this in code. So continuing with our GUI framework, we want to have the ability to draw each widget on the screen. So in our UI control class, let's add a method public void draw. Now this method is not going to have an implementation because we don't know how to draw a UI control, because the algorithm for drawing a widget is specific to the type of the widget. Drawing a text box is different from drawing a checkbox. So we can leave the implementation empty, or better, we can declare this as abstract. So public abstract void draw. Now we have a couple of compilation errors. The first one is here because an abstract method cannot have a body. So we remove the braces and terminate this with a semicolon. This is like a method that we declare in an interface. It's only a method declaration. It doesn't have implementation. Now, because we have an abstract method in this class, we should declare this class as abstract as well. This is like a half-baked cake. We cannot use it directly. We cannot instantiate it. We cannot create a new instance of the UI control. We can only extend it. Now, if you go to our textbox class, we see a compilation error because this class has not implemented the draw method of the UI control. So we put the caret over here, press Alt and Enter, and implement methods, exactly like how we implement the methods of an interface. So now we have this public void draw method. Over here, let's print drawing a text box. Now let's add another class in this project. New class. We're going to call this checkbox. This class should inherit all the code from the UI control. So we type extends UI control. Then we have IntelliJ implement the abstract methods of this class. There you go. Now we print drawing a checkbox. So each widget knows how to draw itself, okay? Now, in our main class, let's add a public static method, public static void draw UI control. We give it a parameter of type UI control. And in this method, we call control.draw. Now, in our main method, we're going to call this method. So draw UI control. Now, the UI control class is the parent or the base of the text box and checkbox classes. So every text box is a UI control, and every checkbox is a UI control as well. So when calling this method, we can pass a new instance of the text box class and run the program. Here we see drawing a text box. If we pass a new checkbox, we see drawing a checkbox. So even though in this method we are working with a UI control object, at runtime, this object can take on many different forms. It can behave like a checkbox or a text box or a button and so on. This is polymorphism in action. So an object can take on many different forms. That's all about polymorphism. So we have covered all the essential object-oriented principles. Next, we're going to talk about UML, which is the graphical notation we're going to use throughout this course.